Welcome to the Breeders' Cup edition of Lenny's Place, brought to you by my friends at Hillendale Stallions. You're here for Breeders' Cup. If you're staying for the November sales, be sure to check out the Hillendale consignment. Big-time mares and weanlings at Hillendale. Check it out. All right. We're here for the very first Breeders' Cup here in the middle of horse country, Lexington, Keeneland, historic event. Been in LA the last 3 years where Breeders' Cup has kind of felt like a small event in the middle of the big city. It's a much different feel here. The entire city has embraced Breeders' Cup. Everybody's talking about it. There are events everywhere. Breeders' Cup is absolutely the center of the universe here in Lexington this week. Keeneland, relatively small venue for this event. Remains to be seen how we do logistically come Friday and Saturday. But I'll tell you this, if Keeneland does do well logistically, and also if we have an improvement in the numbers of the horse sales, you can bet that Lexington and Keeneland and Kentucky in general is going to be in a regular rotation for the Breeders' Cup from now on. Probably the end of talk for a permanent site out in Los Angeles, unless Breeders' Cup TV partner NBC absolutely insists on Santa Anita being the only venue. But outside of that, I think we're going to have a successful one here. And I think you're going to see Kentucky back in the rotation, as well as hopefully New York in the future. We're here with trainer Doug O'Neill, and from Southern California. You're becoming a regular here at Keeneland, aren't you?
Oh, I love this place.
Yeah,
it really is. This is horsey heaven. It really is, though. It's so wide open, green, and it's beautiful.
Well, you're used to green back in Southern California.
Oh, yeah.
But you were here a month ago, took down the Alcibiades with Gomo, who unfortunately doesn't make the Breeders' Cup. But you know, they made you a Kentucky Colonel yet? Have you gotten that?
I'm waiting for that phone call. I do like KFC, so if Norm Macdonald decides to drop out, I might have a chance.
All right. Well, you won the Alcibiades last month. You were here with Square Eddie a few years ago. You took down the Breeders' Futurity. You like it here. A couple of grade ones for a guy based in Santa Monica. Ain't bad.
Not bad at all. No, it's, you know, and both those horses you mentioned were owned by Paul and Zilla Redham.
Yeah.
And, you know, so it takes a lot of guts, which they have, to put a horse on a plane and come out here and take a chance. And yeah, we've been fortunate with a few of the purple and white Redham racing horses, and hopefully we got a few more next weekend.
Got a couple in the rifle. Speaking of which, Nyquist, if we can use a football term, he's been your #1 draft choice all year.
Yeah.
Hockey term or a football term.
Yeah.
He's undefeated. He's shown he can fight. He's been eyeballed a couple of times. He's got a great mind on him. How high are your hopes for him coming up in the juvenile?
Well, you know, we're extremely excited, and you know, it's hard not to say that our expectations aren't extremely high. Like you said, he's undefeated, and he's done everything we've asked of him, except he's never shipped. So, but he breezed the other day, right before the races there at Santa Anita, did exactly what we wanted him to do. He shipped in yesterday, and he settled in good. So far so good, but you know, it's going to be a full field, and you know, some really top horses there, of course, and so we just need a good, clean trip. But yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't expecting a huge effort.
Ah, good.
Yeah.
And speaking of a huge field, you got another one in there in Ralis, who of course shipped to New York, so you know he can ship, and won the Hopeful. Champagne, kind of in a bog, not so good. Track condition, you willing to maybe draw a line through that one because of the mud, or?
Yeah, hey, you're always looking for an excuse when you run like that.
I'm giving you
hey,
one.
I appreciate. See,
Number 23.
23.
Well, yeah, you got one
I actually do. Yes, I do have
good,
that. You know, he's a horse that after the Hopeful, we shipped him back to Southern California, and we shipped him back for the Champagne, and that may have took a little steam out of him. We didn't think so before the race, but instead of bringing him back to Southern California, we brought him right here to Keeneland, and Dr. Cheney pulled the blood on him, and his blood was a little bit out of whack. So he might have been battling a little bug going into the race that we didn't know about, but pulled the blood on him after his last work the other day. His blood's back, looks great, his energy's great, so he's going to probably be forgotten by the bettors, but not by me, because I think you know, with Castellano taking the mount back to me is a huge positive, and yeah, he's a sleeper. Like you say, Nyquist is a, you know, first-round draft pick, and with Ralis, he's kind of like a walk-on.
He's a walk-on.
Yeah, he's a walk-on,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
but a solid walk-on. So we got two good ones in there.
We'll talk about betters. I know your brother could be walking on to the windows with that one.
Yeah.
Right. Let's move to the juvenile fillies. Landover C, very solid in stakes action out in California. She obviously needs to close the gap with Songbird a little bit. I mean, is that possible? Is she improving to the point where you can give Songbird a race here?
I think so. You know, I think another, what's that going to be, probably 8 or 9 horse field. It's going to be a pretty good sized field, I believe. And Songbird will probably be the shortest price on the card. Yeah. So, but Landover C's training great energy, and she just seems to be getting a little bit better with each race. So, yeah, if Songbird gets pushed early and doesn't perform as amazingly as she has in the past, and we keep moving forward, we could shock the world there.
Yeah, she's a nice filly, your filly.
She's really nice. Just very mentally mature and physically mature. She's solid.
And showing your incredible versatility. You got one in a turf race as well. Sharla Rae, who won the Del Mar Oaks, beat the horse who came here and won the Queen Elizabeth, her eminency, however you say it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Tell us about Sharla Rae.
You know, she's a filly that just tries hard every time, and these turf races, you know, she's probably a tad slow on numbers, but she can step it up, and we got Jose Lascano who's going to ride her, who's a great turf rider and great closing turf rider, so just needs to save all the ground she can, and she just needs a perfect trip, which they all do, I guess, but her even more so. But she's training great. She's shipped in here well, and you know, her owners are really educated number people, and you know, they think we have a chance. So that means a ton to me, and I think we could shock the world there.
You didn't shock the world the last couple of years with Golden Sense. You've had a lot of success in these Breeders' Cup lately. You came here and won a Kentucky Derby. You're doing okay for yourself, aren't you?
Can't complain, but I'll tell you, you go from West LA to a 25-acre farm in Lexington. You're doing pretty good too, Lenny. You got a good life.
I'm doing pretty good when I can stay in touch with guys like you. Doug O'Neill, best of luck in the Breeders' Cup.
Thank you, brother.
We want to thank Doug O'Neill for being here. We want to thank you, viewers. We want to thank our friends at Hillendale Stallions for bringing this show to you. We'll be back with you in a couple of weeks, but before that, everybody have a great Breeders' Cup. Enjoy, and we'll see you back here. Take care, everybody.